Awesome. Well, welcome back to Astrological Intentions. We're going to discuss what's coming up this week astrologically, go over a couple talismans, and what we did last weekend.
You got the keys. You got the keys. You got the keys. You got the keys.
Let's get to what's going on this week. It's a big week, actually. We have Mercury going retrograde on the 26th.
Everyone knows that.
July 26th. I mean, I wish people would really know what Mercury retrograde is for so that we didn't hear too many misconceptions, really, about Mercury going retrograde. It goes retrograde 3 times a year, and when it does, it appears to be getting closer to the Earth. And as it's still continuing its path, not going retrograde because it doesn't reverse in nature, it just appears from us here down on the planet Earth. So it goes retrograde on the 26th and stays retrograde for 3 weeks.
So I think everyone's heard of Mercury retrograde. Some are terrified by it. Some are frustrated by it. What symbolically does it mean?
It's when the planet Mercury, our communication, our short travel, our understandings, our what we hear, what we communicate, that perceivement of information is a little loud. It's a little too close to the planet, so it gets a little screechy. It's kind of like high volume waves, kind of like when you're out of a radio frequency. If you're driving your car, people aren't getting the right information
that comes in.
Yeah, kind of like staticky,
unclear messages.
Yeah, okay. I would suggest really get messages back after you've sent somebody an important message. Get a confirmation that thumbs up or good to go or I got it.
And actually, not to interrupt you, I went to the Apple store today.
Oh,
and
that's
I was
right.
fixing my computer, and that's getting interesting. They were a little bit understaffed, and I don't think that they were ready for what's to come. So, Apple Store, get all your workers.
Well, and really today's the 24th of July. Mercury is at 23 degrees of Leo, and that's where it's stationing to turn retrograde. It goes all the way back to 11 degrees. So with that said, it's the Leos, and if anyone has a planet in that position from 23 backwards to 11, and then it'll hit back again and move forward to the 23 degrees. That there's messages coming in. You may have forgot something. You may have needed to do some review around those planets, especially if your sun is in that time frame. So that's from August 3rd all the way to August 16th. So that means that this Mercury is hitting your sun 3 times. What do you need to remember? What do you need to review? What do you need to recharge, revisit?
Yes, all of the words is a good retrograde reminder as I use all of them. But anything with the so kind of going back and redoing, re-editing, revisiting, and I always like to use retrogrades in a positive way as opposed to, freaking out of Mercury's in retrograde again and blame everything on Mercury in retrograde. But maybe this is a really great time to revisit, journaling, revisit very clear communications within your relationships.
That's true. And because if the retrograde gets a bad rap because no one knows really what that means. And what we need to do is to go into ourself. It's a time of internalization. When it starts moving forward, it'll be that external communication. So we want to make sure and very clear on ourselves, within our minds, within our ideas, and with what, how we can understand ourselves better. So we're just reviewing, and especially if it comes back, as I gave those dates for the sun, it really is replaying. Maybe there is especially for Leos, a more of a courage or bravery or being proud a reminder that one might need that.
Right. So Mercury in retrograde in the sign of Leo makes it a little bit more Leonian.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it might get very Leonian, less Leonian as it goes into retrograde internal cycle, and then more on the other side. This goes until August 18th day. So it's always about 3 weeks in retrograde. All right. That's one big thing that's coming up, and I went into that. But the biggest thing this week is we're in the middle of eclipse season.
Right, the lunar eclipse.
Yeah. So a lunar eclipse is when the sun and the moon are opposite each other, so we get to bask in the full moon light.
Nice.
But when an eclipse comes, which means it's very close to the nodal axis, that when the sun and moon are moving with those, the south and the north node is when we get the eclipse. And we're not going to see it here in North America. The sun has already gone. It happens at like 3:20 in the afternoon here in Chicago, and the moon's not up yet. So we'll see it after it's come up, around 7-ish, maybe a little bit 6:45 this time. So that's what's up with this eclipse, is happening at 4 degrees of Aquarius and Leo. And so certainly I'll give some birth dates here in a minute, or you will.
Sure.
And with the lunar eclipse, it really is it's like a turbo induced full moon. Because it's when the Earth shadow is between both the luminaries, the sun and the moon. And so the sun is unable to give the moon its full brightness because the Earth is in the way.
And it has that beautiful color on the moon.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to watch. And so it's when the night is to be the lightest of the whole month, and instead of the darkest, but we're going to still get the shadow. It's not going to be as light for that total of the evening and night sky.
And so we put together some dates for these birthdays. So if you're Taurus, born around April 24th, Leo, born around July 27th, Scorpio, born October 27th, and Aquarius, born January 24th, or a couple of days, give or take, yeah?
Yeah, this is all the 4 degrees of the fixed signs. So this axis is the fixed sign. The sun is at early degrees. It's at 4 degrees. This is on Friday, which we're talking about the lunar eclipse. The sun is at 4 degrees on that day in Leo, and the moon is coming across at 4 degrees opposite that, which is Aquarius, right? And why we went to the Aquarius birthday, the Leo birthday, and the other 2 fixed signs, which are Scorpio and Taurus. So this is what's really happening for this particular eclipse.
And what does it mean for those birthdays or around those birthdays that we just discussed?
That their sun sign is involved in the eclipse, either at a conjunction, opposition, or a square, which is, as we know, 90 degrees, which is a little bit of a stress conundrum time, where it's time to kind of break open anything of the old, any significant behaviors, memories. It's moving with the south node, which means the past. So it's wanting to bring up those feelings, maybe secrets, possibly things that you're not telling anyone that you might need to bring up, which certainly could be, shake something up. But what you're trying to do is complete significant, powerful clearings. And emotions, because it's the moon, right? So if there's anything that you need to kind of come clean from, it's a beautiful time to bring it up out of the shadows. Right?
And even just a little bit more of self-expression or honoring those feelings as well would be you could, try the arts, I don't know why I just thought of that, but Aquarian energy could have that unique, very different message to bring.
It's true. It could be something to do with your community. Maybe there's more charitable, help in the neighborhood. Just a smile sometimes, helping somebody with that someone can't get themselves around. Just community, like a community service. It's a good time. We also have to keep in mind that retrograde Mars, remember Mars? It's been retrograde now for almost half the time. So your batteries should be about half full by now if you've been recharging correctly. Tick, tick. So as Mars is continuing its last part of this retrograde cycle, it's also involved in this lunar eclipse. And it's about bringing a strong focus to business that you've put to the side or you've put on the back burner, or it's kind of bringing a completion to that, focus on it for completion, or decide to let it go. Maybe it's just of no use anymore, and then take it off the back burner. That might really clear some of your mindscape when we come on the other side of this, so that it doesn't look like you have so many things to do.
Right.
So you're going to go back in and check that pulse, see what's really important to you and what needs to be completed. So, could be that people from your past, it's the South Node, people from the past might come into your vision, a phone call, a letter, a memory, something, might just, you might get a whiff of that around this time. So.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I really want to, the eclipses support releasing beliefs that have gotten stale over time, to bring in new energy, new ideas, new thoughts, new creations that are best in being productive with, like best forward move. So that's this big eclipse going on. So it's a big one. We got another one coming up in 2 weeks, which will be the solar eclipse that I'll talk about that week. So, we've titled this "To Search Within to Uncover the True Desires and Reclaim My Individuality as a whole and as a in the tribal community." So
I like that.
That's that.
That's a good one.
So that's enough information for everybody to work on right now. Let's talk about the talisman I made last week, actually.
We're working on some.
So we'll talk about Wanderlust, and we were in Squaw Valley, California, but there was an excellent star was being visited by the moon, and Spica is at 24.5 of Libra. And so every time the moon comes around at 24.5 Libra is a great time to make a talisman for the energy to be a goddess of humanity. So we can already hear again the little flavor of this kind of week, and in this time frame of humanity, community is really big. That's the intention, to be a goddess of humanity, and the affirmation is, I receive this gift and talent. My life is exceptional when I use this gift.
That's
and
beautiful.
So, yeah, right. So one bracelet, I could get in one bracelet. It was at 6:28 a.m. And I had to kind of wrap that because our first class was at 8 a.m. in Squaw Valley. So this one I had to whippersnapper down into the talisman of intention beads clay.
Yes.
So,
and the Spica star, isn't that the 14th brightest star?
How did you know? I love that. Yes, it is.
We were looking
ding,
at it
ding.
the other night. And
Yeah.
is it part of Virgo?
Well, it's interesting because it's in the sign of Libra. Okay, fixed stars move so slow. I think they move a degree every 72 years. And it's so slow that in our entire lifetime, we would really not notice the move.
Right.
So it has kind of changed. This is at 24.5 of Libra, and probably will stay in that 1 degree range for my life and your life.
That bright star in the night sky is asking for that goddess energy to come out.
Use the gift and talent you were given. Did you forget? Right? We often do. I forget mine sometimes. And certainly when I was younger, I forgot.
You are a true goddess.
Well, now that I'm 62, I'm kind of digging it that I get to be this goddess of humanity and be the helper of mankind, as Sandra and Alexandra really mean.
Yeah, our names mean the same thing. Go figure. Helper of mankind. It's a good one. So we don't really have too many talismans coming up.
No, actually, I really don't care to bring down the full moon energy, and especially the lunar eclipse. I'm not going to make a talisman at that time, so I'll just be in awe watching the beautiful.
So how come you won't make a talisman?
Well, I only go after the beautiful, auspicious energy of ease and grace. I think that's a beautiful
those are good times
target,
to make
right?
talismans.
So I'm going after trines. I'm going after sextiles.
So those are the more easy.
Maybe. I'm going
harmonious.
I'll go after a square if it's Jupiter, right? That gift giver.
Where
Jupiter in a square wants to overcompensate.
And a talisman is I guess intended to help remove some obstacles, or at least remove our mental obstacles that we have, against reaching our goals.
So I choose not to. There's many times in the month and the year that I can make beautiful, auspicious talisman for sale for one to use. It's the times that I choose not to make them, and it's this week. I've got some internal work to do, maybe.
Yeah.
Because it's not about external work right now. So,
perfect time.
Nothing on. So that really means I get some time off. Yeah. I don't have to get up I can sleep through the night.
We did, and we just got back. Was that last night?
That was last night.
Yes, we flew back from Squaw Valley, California. We were there for the Wanderlust event. It was absolutely beautiful. The weather was incredible. The people there, you can't make it up.
I mean, we got
awesome.
to wake up in the morning and drive at 6 a.m. to our class that we were running. And
in the mountains.
And we were like, you know what? So how beautiful is this for this day's
commute?
And, we teach inside, although we do readings outside. So that was our landscape.
Yeah, and it was so much fun. We got to teach so many people about their moon signs. And everyone would come back to me with their sheet in hand saying that their moon was in Sagittarius, but they would say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not a Sagittarius, I'm a Cancer." And so I would have to just explain to them, over and over and over again that they are not just their sun sign. Well, and they didn't even realize that they had a sun sign because they didn't know that there was some such thing called that. So it was a really wonderful weekend just to teach a little bit more about the complexity of astrology.
I don't know how fair that is when I start the class and I said, how many know where their sun sign is? And I get, a few hands go up and it's obvious the rest don't know. Otherwise, why would they have avoided raising their hand, right? So
right.
I'm thinking, okay, and then I ask that question, and I always feel like it's like I'm putting them on a test, a teaser.
Yeah, it is a little teaser.
So, okay, and I kind of get that little thing going on where I said, so let's pretend you're in a bar, and a really nice-looking guy comes up and says, hey, babe.
Or girl.
What's your zodiac sign? You would have an answer for him, right?
Yeah.
And they go, yeah. I go, well, that's your sun sign. It's a little bit more scientific the way I speak of it.
Yes. But it was a great time. We had so much fun, and we were going to be continuing our travels with Wanderlust, going up to Canada in Whistler and Mount Tremblant.
Yeah, we got invited up there. So we're already our 4 classes in both places. Whistler, which is next Wednesday. I think that's August 2nd through that Sunday. Mm-hmm. And that is the August 2nd through the 5th. We'll be up there and doing readings.
I'm excited to go. It'll be
30-minute readings. Trip. Yeah, you've never been to Canada. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm really excited. And I hear it's absolutely stunning. So I can't wait.
Yeah, it'll be great.
And that'll be another Wanderlust Festival where you go, you do yoga, you go to awesome workshops, you find out more things. I even did a slacklining class, and it was so much fun. And just got to share quality time with people who just want to be there and be present. I love it.
Yeah, it's a see the emotional side of self place. We had several people, even in our class, during meditation, where feelings were coming up because we were calling the moon in. We were asking her to remind us about really what made us feel good about ourselves and our comfortability and our mother and our nurturing and how we nurture our children, should we have them at this point, and ourselves, and what the home means for people. Yeah. The moon is home. Yeah. And so we really watched, will you please put this on, will you put tissues on our packing list? I really felt like, I got to get to the grocery and get a packet to pass them.
Even
because
just the travel kind.
They were using their sleeves while they're...
And we even had some kids in our workshop.
Oh my gosh.
And they got to learn some amazing things. And then when at the end of the workshop, when we've done our meditation and everyone has kind of this message that they received during the meditation, they come up to the front and they announce it, to kind of be witnessed. And I bawled as soon as these kids were coming up saying, these incredibly universally brilliant and wise
5 years old and 7 years old. I mean, and petite,
One was, I love who I am, and I'm proud of that. And that was just what an awesome thing, just to be able to say in front of a group, even just once.
And that was the little boy, and the little girl literally got up and said, "I want to remember all my beautiful memories, all these memories I have right now when I grow up."
Yeah.
Oh, she got everybody.
Yeah. She was so sweet.
But what they're doing when they're claiming that is claiming that I am statement, that you're right, that they did get a message from the moon, lunar, and they made a bead. They made this talisman bead that we then go into ceremony, put it into the oven we carry around.
All the way around the world.
And bake it, and they come back for their talisman, and we put it on a little chain, little necklace, and they're good to go. They're just reminded that this talisman was made at a certain time for a definite reason with their intention in mind. So it's what we do.
Yeah. Do we have, what else do we, you have Scamania coming up. Well,
that's after Whistler. I go to Scamania with Celebrate Your Life. Hey, now,
there's going to be some
all
cool
the places
there.
I go, you've heard me say this from day one, all the places I get to be involved with, it is my favorite place, Mishka Productions and Liz.
Celebrate Your Life. It's so much fun.
I've been invited to their very intimate Squamania in Washington event with a lot of one-of-a-kind speakers.
Yes. And unfortunately, I did see the email was that a week ago, that they sold out.
They sold out.
They sold out all their tickets. But it's, there's always next year.
Well, and they also have the bigger scale. Their signature event is always in November in Phoenix. We'll talk more about that. But you might want to...
Yeah, there's authors there from, everyone from like Liz Gilbert to Joe Dispenza to Greg Braden.
Colette Baron-Reed, my friend.
Liz, did I say Liz Gilbert? I did.
Yeah.
Who else? Anyway.
Martha Beck.
Yeah, Martha Beck.
Yeah.
So
Sonny Dawn Johnson, all those guys. Anyway, so that's coming up the end August 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. So if you are listening and you're going, let's have a tea, since I'm detoxing from coffee still.
Awesome. So maybe we'll summarize just a little bit of some key takeaways for people this upcoming week, kind of what they need to know.
So Mercury retrograde, go back and revisit things that you've written, watch contracts. If you have to sign a contract or negotiate something, make sure that you've read between the lines and that you understand it. You understand it. The eclipse, to really search within, go into something, maybe have a past regression, go into meditation, try to uncover what you truly, truly want to do in your life. And you'll only know it when the moon speaks to you and says, this is what we're going to create now.
That kind of grounded,
yeah,
stable emotion feeling. Yeah.
Yeah. Although this isn't going to be that stable, but you're going to try and get there. So, those are basically the big ones this
Awesome.
week. So
yes, so we wish you luck, everybody, this week. Can
I say one last thing?
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh! So we hadn't even registered or subscribed, I guess, to our own podcast.
To our own podcast.
Well, no, I didn't know. You know, I told you I'm
we're not
a double millennia.
Uh-oh.
You take 30 and you double it. I'm a double millennia. So I'm not going on to do that. But I just learned that if you go to your phone and you put in Find Podcasts, which is an automatic add-on, I guess, to an iPhone, you go on to our podcast, put in Astrological Intentions.
Wow.
I did it all. I did it.
I'm impressed
press
right now.
Press that
press
picture.
the subscribe button.
And then go to the subscribe button and then press that. I did it all.
It was so easy.
Yeah, so now we've added ourselves to the subscriber list.
And
it's
all
that
the people
easy to add yourself.
All the people listening have already done this. So we're speaking from a very different time. But
my language is not technology.
That's totally fine. Also, to get in touch with us, we have our Facebook page, our website, and our Instagram page. Our Instagram page, if you have any questions that you want us to cover, please send them our way. Also, we want to hear about your Mercury Retrograde and your lunar eclipse stuff, so send that in as well. I know that we are going to be taking a couple of possible callers to take a look at your chart. So that would be a great idea to send in too.
Right, through Instagram, right, with their question.
Yes.
Yeah.
Instagram.
And then I can talk about it next week.
Yeah, or just contact us from the website.
And of course, we're intentionbeads.com.
Yes. And on Instagram, we are intention_beads. So
why couldn't they just do it all the same? Oh my God!
Well,
right?
They get taken, and then you forget,
There's people
and then
like
you don't
that
realize. Yes. So anyway, we are going to conclude our second episode now.
Signing off. So break the mold. Be individual and be proud of it. That's my advice this week.
I second that.
Peace out.
Bye.